Just like that jolt of caffeine you need just to tolerate the world around you. It's the QueerCentric with your host, Queer Lead Johnny.
I'm going to try to say hello to our audience one time and not hello, because I was watching last week's episode and I annoyed myself because I admitted that I do everything twice at the beginning of the show. Hello.
You do.
I did it anyway.
It's your signature. Everybody knows you for it now.
I know, right? So welcome. Of course, it's another amazing episode of the QueerCentric. Here again we have a studio audience here in the. Everybody cheer. That's a good feeling right there. So studio audience watching us be crazy and weird. So welcome to everybody here. Let's start off before we get into the week and then the different subjects that I'd like us to talk about. I want each of you to take a moment, tell us your name, and you can identify yourself however you want. Whether you want to say job, it doesn't matter. But we'll start with you, lovely lady.
My name is Barb Silvey, and I was a teacher for 36 years at Rogers High School. Go Pirates! And our football coach just won Coach of the Year, and that was pretty kick-ass.
Nice.
And I was there's a lot of things.
You put a lot of effort in that school.
There was, I was the advisor for our LGBTQ club, and we put on the first drag show in the country that was done by a high school, which was pretty epic. Because when we went to our principal, she said, I don't care just as long as you don't do it in the school.
Right. And then I wonder what would happen if we tried that today, because we're going to talk about some crazy
We do all the
people.
time here.
Yeah, here.
Like kids have been coming into our proms in drag forever.
Right.
Nobody
that's how
cares.
Kurt and I met you originally, is going to this amazing Gay Straight Alliance, and we, for some reason, just kept going back.
Yeah.
We had a really good time, really strong, wonderful kids there, and you were always so open. They needed that ally, and you were that power for them. So, which is exciting that we still know each other. We still keep in contact.
All the good people.
Yes, right? And that you should be on the show. I mean, you just should be. You should.
It's so fun.
And speaking of people who have a little teacher in them, let's get over here. David, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Dave McMillin, and I am also a teacher. 30 years in the profession now. Prior to that, I spent a little bit of time working for Congress when I lived back in Washington, D.C. So
I did not know that.
I have a little bit different perspective on a few things because I kind of understand the process and how things get done.
Wow, some of these things we're going to talk about today.
Currently a librarian.
Oh, sweet.
So he went right into the front lines of where everybody's at right now with book bannings. And so he's like, I'm going to go there. I'm going to go right
school.
there. Not in our state, thank God. So
Thank goodness
far,
we're not dealing with that.
yeah,
Really.
so far
Thank
we're
goodness,
good.
yeah.
But we are going to talk about some things today that I think directly have a correlation to our schools and our kids. And so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be a good conversation.
That'll be a blast.
Will.
But the whole point of our show is to have the conversations that the rest of the queer community and allies are already having out there, except we cannot afford to be quiet right now.
Nope.
And probably not till I'm dead. So hopefully that's about 60 years from now, because I'm going to live a while. So you've been warned.
Just let me go to Colorado and order a cake from that lady. Just let
Oh
me
my
do it.
God, I know.
she's
And we'll
not
talk
making
about
it
that.
yet.
Yeah.
Just let me go there.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting too. So we'll talk about her. So before we get into that, we're going to talk about a little more fun stuff about our weeks. First, I want to start with Tom. You have a mode of transportation now.
Yeah, for about 2 months, I was carless, so I was walking and hitching rides, and hiking up my skirt on the side of the road and thumb out, just waiting for truckers to stop.
Atta babe.
And I went and got a car. The guy actually picked me up and took me to the dealership, which I didn't know that was a thing. I thought
They do that.
but it's kind of strategic. They're like, hey, now you're trapped here.
Yeah.
Of course they'll take you home, but it's like there's the implication.
Yeah.
And while we were driving, he mentioned, what do you do? I told him I do security, and then he said, "Are you going to be getting into anything else?" And we talked about police work. He's like, "Oh, I want to be a police officer. Actually, I'm looking into that." And he's like, "I do have a question though. Do they have problems with DUIs on your record?" And I was like, like plural?
Yeah, he's like, I have 12. Is that an issue?
Dude,
So he said it was like he's like 33. He's like, in a past life, when I was younger, I had
33
two
when he was
DUIs.
younger. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, for those days.
And I was like, well, they don't explicitly say you can't have that. I mean, some of the places say, hey, if you've don't have meth within the last 5 years, and you're good.
Jesus.
So they of course.
There's a
they'll take it
high
into
bar.
Wait, this is how you
consideration,
be a police officer? I am very concerned.
and obviously sometimes they'll look at small stuff and they'll be like,
Yeah.
that's
Wait, did he ever tell you what constitutes plural DUIs? Did he ever give you a number?
he said 2.
Oh, what? Still, I still feel like, okay.
Is he sober?
I did not ask that.
He wasn't at the time.
Yeah,
But
he was driving me there, and so
then
he
next
was
time
keeping
You're
his
like,
lane.
I'm hoping.
He was speeding though, so
So maybe he can be a cop,
Jeez,
but he can't go to
right?
Canada.
right.
Right? Just
Yeah,
pull
he
out
cannot go to Canada.
We should all keep a breathalyzer on us, just in case our Uber driver looks a little shady, and just be like, "Could you
Sir,
please
can you
blow
stand up
into
outside
that?"
the car for a second, please? I just need to
That's a free
Right,
ride,
right.
though.
run a few tests.
True.
Free ride.
I mean, so, but you ended up success.
I did. I got
You
a
now
vehicle.
can- yeah.
I talked him down. He tried to pull a fast one. I pulled a faster one, and I got the price I wanted.
It was
so
straight out of Hollywood.
I said, "Here's the Kelly Blue Book," and then they said, "Well, we're not going to match that," and then I got them to match it. So
See, of course you did. Well, I'm glad. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I didn't when I lived in LA. I didn't have a car the whole time, and I will tell you right now,
You'd run everywhere.
never again. When I was back here a year, I didn't do a car. I'm never doing that again. Never. It's awful.
I'm too impulsive. I gotta go whenever.
Right?
Waiting for the bus is a
And
nightmare.
like I love Go Spokane Transit. They're doing some great things,
it's
but I
great.
just don't want anything to do with them.
wanna be on
So
it.
I love you. I just don't want to be with you. That's how that works. So now we'll get into other fun stuff. So I think people have seen some photos we've been leaking. We did a very long photo shoot on Sunday with some amazing people. Kurt is working his brilliant magic, and we're going to release the 12 Gays of Christmas. We're going to start releasing those cards on Monday the 12th. So by the time you hear this, there will be cards out.
Is it a calendar?
It should be with. I know Barb saw my friend who is my male model, and she would like to see more of him.
Yeah, I don't care if he's gay. I can.
He's married with 3 kids, but
saying.
his wife is so sweet, and John loves everyone. His brother's gay. He's very, and I'm like, John, really? Like, I got to climb him like a tree. It was
saw that.
It was amazing. Yeah. Yes. So we start releasing, and so we've just been releasing teasers, and they're not the ones we're actually doing. They've been fun.
I was scared to see your elf costume by the way you described it.
You were scared to see it. I saw the pictures, and I was scared to see the elf costumes. But Kurt knows how to work the magic. It was more fun to see John in the
He knows how to hike down your skirt and post.
right. And then there's
Okay.
John, who's hiking up his during the. John's not afraid of anything. He's an amazing man. He's going to be on the show in January. He has been with us, working with us, doing crazy things, Kurt and I, for 7 or 8 years, 15 years. Where have I been for 15 years?
You ran away.
Listen, I did run away for a few
the
years,
bad
but also
place.
I can't remember 15 years ago. I don't know what was happening. I was not drunk, but something was obviously happening. So, anyways,
Well, Kurt, I need calendars because I have gay husbands in 8 states. 8 or 9.
see, remember when you were saying how I lift my hands as if I'm in a Pentecostal church when I'm excited? Yes,
That's me.
I agree. I
Excited
agree.
utterance. That's me.
It's on. And John is the sweetheart. I already told him that we have to have
So
more photo
cute.
shoots. So cute. I was mad though. I asked him when we were there, how old are you, John? And he's like, I'm 42.
Baloney.
I'm like, go away from me right now. He is. Yeah, he does not look 42.
How?
No.
He looks 12.
I know. He's beautiful. He's beautiful. He's been the longest running Jello shop man at the gay clubs that's out there. I think he's been about 15, 16 years doing that.
Is
that keeps you young.
that the profession, a jello shopman?
It is,
Lame.
apparently. And I mean, now his
lame.
daughter's old enough and brings people in to see her dad. And he wears the tiniest little thing you've ever seen.
Well, 'cause he's
And-
tiny.
Yeah, and it's fun. And his wife is the one that got him the job. I think they were supporting his brother or something, and someone asked if he wanted to be a Jello shop man, and she goes, "Do it." Yeah. And that's so she whored him
he
out.
listened.
And he listened, and he's really good
he's
at it.
smart.
He's really good at it. Also, keep your eye out for that. We're calling it a naughty holiday. Yes, because everybody. I know there he is. Barb is showing people his picture.
Not 40.
Isn't he beautiful?
40.
I love him. And the other sad thing is I have a lot of romantic pictures with him, and it's all pretending he's straight, and yet it gives me relationship goals. Just looking at my, it's very sad.
Something to aspire to.
Yes, and we should all have a little naughty in our holiday season with our nice. So, so keep your eye out for that. It's going to be super fun. We're excited to do it. We talk about it for the last few weeks. Remember to mark your calendars, everybody. February 25th is a Saturday at 7 p.m. We are doing our very first live podcast. We have room for 250 people, so we want everybody to show up. Yes, show up. It's going to be run like it's a late night, like you went and saw, Stephen Colbert. So we have comedians and writers and music, and so please mark your calendar. You'll hear more and more about it as we release the. Kurt is working on our marketing right now. So, what was that? 7 o'clock.
Thank you.
Yep. See, Barb's already got her phone out. She whipped that out.
You better reserve
This
spot.
she is so supportive.
Have to be.
So the rest of you people step it up. No, just kidding. So please watch for that. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and we are thrilled to partner with the Central Library here in Spokane, who are kind enough to like us, which is always surprising to me, but they do like us.
Because you're nice, Jonathan.
I mean, see,
It
doesn't hurt.
I'm nice. I'm nice when the mic is on. We want to say, so I have an amazing writing team that we love to work with, and I made the mistake of telling them that if they needed me to promote anything, they should tell me. And so they did. I love them to death. We do want to say that the Spokane Comedy Film Festival is coming the day before our big night, February 24th, at the Garland Theater at 7 p.m. Tickets are still available. And honestly, they're willing to take your submission of a comedy film if you want to still put it in there. All you have to do is visit their website. Remember, that's just Spokane Comedy Film Festival.
So it's people from Spokane who have made comedy?
Yeah, and they're comedians here
I'm putting that on my
right?
what's it
It's SpokaneComedyFilmFestival.com. So wait for that. Check that out. Our good friend Josiah Carlson is running that whole endeavor. And then finally, you all know we've been down to Skipper's on Sunday night. They are having a comedy Christmas show for anybody who does not have a family to be with on Christmas, which is so great. There's a bunch of comedians and Skipper's is opening up, and they're going to do a show. And maybe you're tired of your family by 7 p.m.
Yes,
and
it's not as depressing as it sounds. Some people just don't want to be around.
It's a beautiful thing. Right, there's that as well. So remember, if you want to go to a comedy Christmas show, show up at Skipper's at 3320 North Monroe, 7 p.m. And Anthony would like everybody to know that your ugly sweaters are welcome.
Skippers like the fish skippers?
Yeah. It's the most interesting place to see a comedy
love
show.
This place.
Kurt and I went eating our little fish fries and things and watched a comedy show. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Actually, I had a great time. So please do that.
Wow.
Now, are we ready? Drum roll. Barb has such a good time wherever she goes. Wherever she goes, I love it. We're gonna get to it.
Time with me.
Are y'all ready to get into the ugliness?
Are you a big old queer?
Well, yeah.
Do the holidays bring out the worst in you?
Hey.
And this year you get to meet your big outdoorsy mountain man boyfriend's parents.
He's so burly, I can, climb him. But how do you know all this?
As the narrator, it's my job. You're a bit nervous. You want to impress them. Worried you won't be butch enough.
Seriously, get out of my head.
Well, there's something about a big truck that can make you feel like you can do anything. And in the all-new Man truck, you can do anything.
Oh, wait, is this a commercial?
This hunk of red-blooded American steel comes fully loaded with a 36-cylinder engine.
Is that a lot?
Gas mileage, emissions, who cares? You're a man.
Yeah.
But if you are concerned about fuel, this truck's got the tools to capture your own personal oil field.
It seems a bit much.
Military-grade armor comes standard on this baby, and so do two 50 caliber mounted machine guns.
What the?
But if that doesn't send the message that you're here, you're queer, and you'll kick some ass if needed, the rocket launcher and flamethrower will.
Oh my god!
It's a man's game. Excuse me for choking on all this awesomeness, but that's not all this baby can do.
What now?
With a payload rated best in class, The man has the capacity to comfortably carry a nuclear warhead.
Oh, hell no.
And this truck can easily haul this payload up Brokeback Mountain. The man is the only rig to take you to your lover.
Oh, I hate that word.
Sorry, ladies. Man only. Man, the perfect truck to help you survive the apocalypse that you started.
I just wanted his parents to like me.
Destruction. Chaos. Man.
Of it all. We had mentioned it kind of in passing. We talked about like the cake guy in Colorado who the Supreme Court sided with him. This was what, 5-6 years ago.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's been a
And
minute.
said he didn't have to, he didn't have to make a cake for
Oh,
the
that was
gay
a lady.
couple.
Wasn't it a lady?
No, the one today.
there's multiple.
This
I thought it was a
lady is
lady.
lady. There was a lady in Oregon that also was
Ah.
going to it. But there's a case now where I call them the Supremes.
Yeah.
The Supremes are showing to be sympathetic to the whole fight, which has been around a while, of the closely held religious beliefs argument, because there is a lady who has decided she hasn't even started.
She hasn't even opened up her wedding business at all.
No, and
Hasn't
she
made a
wants
website
to
for it at all.
No, she wants to run a website. She's a graphics designer, Kurt. You know this world, graphics designer. She wants to open it up for weddings, but
But not queer weddings.
not queer weddings. And so
No
even
websites.
before, no one has tried to get a website from her. No, no queer couple is like, oh my God, you're
No
so
one
amazing.
wants your boring, straight
Exactly.
website.
But she goes ahead and
Excuse
takes
me?
it. She takes it to the Supreme Court before there's even. She could suck at business. We don't know.
Right.
She
I
could be
think we
awful.
should.
It's pretty unprecedented to be able to get that before the Supreme Court,
Right.
and it's not even an issue yet.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Well,
even-
That's impressive.
Tells a
The
good story
sad-
about them.
they are.
I was gonna say the scary part is because our Supreme Court now is so conservative, imbalanced. I mean, it's most.
So they're the
they were
activist
able-
judges that they've been warning us about
Yes,
for years.
that was supposed to be us all this time. and
That's
now-
okay. We're fixing
now-
some things.
We are well. So they did their arguments today. The arguments closed down today. They will not make a decision until June.
Yeah.
Because it's just hard to keep those robes, all ironed and stuff. They want to make sure they get it all. So there is so what they're talking about, this is hard for me. So there's certain quotes that were brought up. One is there's a difference between artists who are conveying a message and vendors selling goods and services in the marketplace. I want to talk about this because the argument that keeps happening is it's our First Amendment right, freedom of speech. That's what they all hide behind.
Yes.
So the problem I'm having is I've always said if you choose to run a business in the public sector, in the marketplace,
Right.
you have to play by those rules.
Right.
You don't get to go, like if you would like to just have your friends at church hire you,
Yes.
you have every right to do that. But how dare you come to the public market and say, I would like you to change all the rules and laws.
Well, just put a sign on
To
the
be
door
me.
that says no blacks.
That's exactly
Just
right.
do
And
that.
That was what some of the Sotomayor had mentioned that.
Well, I
the-
sort of-
Although,
I
on the
sort of
rate,
s-
when I listen to your what's its thing?
yeah. I don't know what that is.
That thing you sent us all the homework.
Oh, yes.
I'm
Yeah.
retired. I shouldn't have to wear homework anymore.
I wanted you to feel at home.
I couldn't get that beyond the firewall for the New York Times.
I know, me either. They said I'm out of articles.
I'm like, you
Gotta
want
pay
to
Really?
money.
Not today.
Yes.
Wow.
You're out of articles.
Buttheads, you're out of articles.
They
I didn't
keep,
even read
yeah,
one.
yeah.
So on one of those things that was on there, the guy said something that made total sense. So said, well, what if there are some people, they own a cake shop and they're an African bunch of people and the KKK wants them to make a cake.
Yeah.
So then my head just goes,
Yes, it is such a
Yeah.
slippery slope where we
think-
are, but it's a slippery slope because that's what they've spent years trying to make it.
Well, the knee-jerk reaction is you don't want to make anybody. The knee-jerk reaction is you shouldn't discriminate.
Yeah.
But then, when it is flipped on its head, you suddenly realize what the premise is behind it and how that can
Yeah.
affect people
Yeah.
down the road,
Yes.
and how if the shoe was on the other foot, you wouldn't
Because-
you wouldn't want to be putting a Confederate flag on a cake and be
Yeah.
like
Right.
having
Yes.
like
But we would never allow, like
in
you
our
said.
schools,
Yeah.
they groups of Christian kids can come meet.
And they can.
So can groups of Satan kids.
well and
Yeah,
and I
That's-
understand
if you allow it,
Right?
You
Yeah.
allow it.
But we're also not saying you Satan kids need to also visit prayer time for the Christian kids.
I understand the distinction, though, that they were making.
Yeah.
It's the distinction of I sell, let's say it's Home Depot.
Yeah.
I sell 2x4s. You're gay, I'm not going to sell to you. You're black, I'm not going to sell to you.
Yeah.
The difference is if it's artistic, you shouldn't have to make an artist do like
that is the argument. And so the other argument was saying, is this artistic, or you are going out there and saying this is my business?
So what they would
selling
say
the
is,
service to you,
so
you can't hide behind
what these businesses
the artistic
say is,
freedom.
Yeah, I'll sell you a wedding cake. Oh, you want me to customize it with your message that I don't agree with? I'm not going to do that.
Can I also say this though? How many of us in the queer
right? Cute.
How many of us in the queer?
Jonathan, yes.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. How many of us in the queer community want some bigoted
That's
asshole
my first thought.
serving us?
No.
I don't. So guess what, bitch? I'm not going to use you anyways. But how dare you tell me that I can't? If you're going to be in the public forum, I sued my doctor at 27 years old because when he found out he had been my doctor for 4 years.
Oh.
I was 27. And he had been my doctor for 4 years. There had been no need for me to come out to him. My partner at the time had a question. He was still in the closet, so he was afraid. So I asked my doctor. In that moment, I had gone for 4 years to sit in his doctor's office and read Bible verses all around the wall for years.
No.
The minute he found out I was gay, he said, I can't be your doctor anymore.
Oh, God in
So
heaven.
I sued his ass.
Good.
And I won.
Of course.
And so that's the thing. You are offering a public service. If you want to be a private doctor and go visit people, but you're not. And so do not tell me. And I left that house. I left that house. I left that doctor's office crying in my car. And I thought to myself, if this is hard on me, I can't imagine a kid who's going and needs to trust their doctor who doesn't have a safe environment at home.
Yep.
So if I can be loud, I need to be loud because some people cannot be.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, do you what is your view as you read these wonderful things about the Supreme Court?
Except the New York
Dave.
Times.
Well, like what I said a few minutes ago, I feel like they've been making complaints for years that the left side has been activist judges, but like in all reality, the right side really accuses the other side of what they're up to. It seems like this diverted practice all the time.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
classic narcissism. Like, I need to deflect because I can't let it be seen.
it
as
is,
me.
and they're just completely justified in everything they're doing because they have some sort of rigid belief about how the world used to be and how it's not anymore.
Yeah.
And they can justify anything they want to do based
Well,
on
it's
that.
just like those memes I've seen lately, which I agree with, which is the Supreme Court should not be there to interpret the Bible and to be they're there to interpret the Constitution, and those are two different things.
They are.
You know, because guess what? Whether you want to believe it or not, your whole country is not one religion.
Right. And
actually,
the Amendment gives everybody equal protection.
Blasphemer.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And listen, I'm a preacher's kid.
Honestly.
So my mom doesn't love these conversations. But the point is the conversations are true. Do you know that the numbers came out recently? There was a study done. There are going to be more Muslim Americans
More
in this
other
country.
colored than
yeah,
white. Yes.
than it is. And I used to, so
In
my family
4
refused
years?
to support, very
think.
close. My
Yeah.
family refused to support me when I
other
sued my
white
doctor.
than white.
Yeah. And what I told my mother is, you better hope that more grace and mercy is shown to you as a Christian than you have bothered to show to anyone else.
Well, they know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
right?
they really do know that.
There's-
And that's part of the fear.
I had a kid at school ask me, "Are you a Christian?" I said,
Yeah.
"Yes, I'm a Christian." And they said, "Well, then how come you like those gay kids?" And I was like, "Okay, how long do you have?
Right.
How long can we talk? Because you got the wrong God going on in your head, kid."
Right?
Right.
I
Yeah.
wrote a book about it. Here you go.
Absolutely.
You know?
It's just like, wow.
Well, and let's talk about the other thing, which is in Richmond, Virginia, there was a restaurant who canceled the reservation of a group of right-wing people who had been known. They were a church group. They'd been known to be very public about supporting anti-abortion and same-sex marriage. They were against it. And so because a lot of their waiters were gay, the management chose to say, you know what, I don't think it would make our staff feel very good. We're going to close. And now the Christian right is up in arms. And
Don't
I'm like,
you think
wait,
it would have been cool to
you
have
just said.
all the waiters
But-
wear rainbow skirts
Right,
and stuff and just
right.
make them so
But-
uncomfortable?
But
I love
Jonathan,
doing that.
isn't that
Think of the
equally wrong, though?
hatred. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So how can you say now they're angry? how can you say what you have been expecting us to do for you and us not to get served? And now you're saying, oh, but now it's affecting us.
Okay, I have
one really great
story about this.
I'm all in.
So we had a kid at Rogers, very vocal about being anti-gay, no gay marriage on whatever that day was. He would wear we celebrated all the days at Rogers with like 500 kids. Day of silence, Trans Day, all of it.
Get a little closer to the mic for us.
Shut up. And when I would do that, nobody has ever told me to be louder. And in that process, this kid had been kicked out of an assembly because he was wearing a shirt that said marriage is only between a man and a woman, and he had that on. And then, like, just during our presentation, he was screaming and stupid stuff. I thought it was interesting. Our principal and those people got him in the office, and then they tried so hard all day to get a hold of his parents so he wouldn't have to stay in there all day, but they just couldn't get them. So I thought that was kind of funny. That way he couldn't wear that shirt around the school.
Yeah.
The next day, because I can turn all the lemon into lemonades, so we had been selling the shirts that say, I'm gay, get over it. I'm straight, get over it. And so I took one of those shirts, I'm straight, get over it. Everyone in the school knows that we've been selling these shirts.
Yeah.
Apparently, except this kid. So I go to where his class is. It's ROTC. So I know he has to be polite. And he knows who I am, right? And so I go there, and I call him out in the hall and say, I know you're never going to agree with me. You know I'm never going to agree with you. But I brought you a present. So I give it to him, and he looks at it, and he goes, oh, my God, that's the best shirt. I'm going to wear it. I said, that's great. And then I went back to class because he's just walking around the hall wearing a GSA shirt. He doesn't even know it.
I love it. That's super.
But this is true.
And you know what? Later on, that kid's going to be in a bar, and somebody's going to put his head through a wall. It's natural consequences. I know. I don't have to worry about that.
Karma's a bitch.
It's a big old fat bitch. Just ask Donald Trump.
Right, exactly.
Huge.
And I love it, but this is the thing. This is the nuanced part of this is the other side can't then turn around and say,
oh, no.
Oh, but now we want to be mad. And then blame us when we're mad for the other side of the same topic.
You can't have it both ways.
You can't have it both ways. And the
But
nuance
people,
needs to be.
They want it both
They
ways.
they all want it. And just to be fair, I will say that the right-wing religious group is called the Family Foundation. Can I just side note?
It's always called family something.
Thank
It
you.
is.
I'm like, why
Or
is it
Christ
always
something. It's always
family?
God or
Yeah.
family. It's always-
Yeah.
yeah.
Anytime someone says family, I'm like, oh, this is gonna go
Here
to
they
shit.
go.
And it's sad because there are good families out there, but because we're so used to being beaten, my dad, who was a minister, used to say, why don't you go to the Baptist church? And I would say to him in his language is, if the shepherd is going to keep beating the sheep with his cane, why would they keep coming back? I don't have time for that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to do it. So we warned you that it was going to get a little
Feisty.
heated, a little feisty in here.
Just let me be at one place where some group like that does that, please.
Yeah.
Because I will go sit at their table, and we will have a very long conversation while the waiters laugh their asses off. Honest to God, they'll probably
Because-
punch me. I don't care.
Well, I remember back in the '93 march in D.C., there were the Fred Phelps people were there.
Oh, yes.
Oh, and we were, my friends and I were marching down
Yeah.
the thing and all proud and everything like that. And they started, God hates fags and all those signs hanging up. And I think one of my friends saw me like the Karen Black look that I get. That's what Adrian always says.
Karen Black.
I Karen Blacked on him. And all of a sudden I'm like over there just screaming in their
Yeah.
faces. And then my friends are like pulling me off because it got to me. But we're so used to that.
It might
And
be
it's-
my favorite thing that we do here
Yeah.
at Pride.
Is
All
the-
those people with those signs.
Yeah.
Those people with the band and the angel wings just stand
Yeah.
right in front of you. You
And
can't even see 'em.
just like we have to
love
accept
'em.
that they have a legal right to be there, we
Yeah.
have a legal right to make angel wings and say
We
we're going to look
do.
more fabulous than you do.
We are, and all that's where
And
all
it's
the
a-
moms stand with
Yeah.
the things that say free hugs.
and it's our fucking party.
It
We didn't
is
invite
too.
you.
Did not.
If you're going to show up,
Right. That's not my God anyway. So
yeah, exactly,
That's what I would say.
exactly. So, and I once ran into the Phelps people way back when Central Washington did the Laramie Project.
Oh, my
Because
goodness.
that church would follow the Laramie
Yep.
Project and try. And I have to say, it was hard for me to look that much hatred in the face. It was awful.
You know a good place
Well, they
to
look
do
like
that?
regular people until they open their mouth.
Right.
Until they start yelling at you and then dribble.
A good place to practice that is being a little person who walks the people into the Planned Parenthood clinic.
Right.
I do that.
yeah.
It's hilarious because those people have no
You have your
idea.
shell of armor on all the time.
Right.
Yeah,
I drive by there all the time.
We're going to walk
Yeah.
in here and they're not going to
and
say
they
a
say,
thing
good
to you.
morning. And I'm just like,
They're going to say it to me and
Yeah.
they're going to be sad about
God
it.
loves everyone.
yeah, I'm like, I'm not pregnant. Leave me alone.
And my favorite thing about if people say things to Barb is they have no idea what they're doing. They don't know what can of worms they have just opened up.
Old
on
lady
this
with
hill.
white
Like,
hair.
it's
Holy-
going down. And you know what? You thought we couldn't
You
get
hurt
more
my
mad?
friends. Oh, yes, we
can. Let's talk about the drag alert system.
Ah!
God.
that piqued our
this is-
minds.
Sorry.
These people have nothing better to do with their time.
And in the end, it's terrifying because
It is.
there is a group of right-wing individuals that started in Austin, Texas, where they decided it was. Wait, get ready for it. The group is called the Texas Family Project.
Family values.
Yes, all about family.
Family
The head guy, his name is Chris Hopper. He's a former director of the conservative think tank American Principles Project.
Ain't no thinking going on there.
And he used to, he's one of his big platforms is he is calling for a 25-year prison sentence for any grown pervert drag clown who performs for kids. Fuck. So
Sorry.
he has. Oh no, you can say
You can
fuck.
swear, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Fuck this
fuck.
bullshit.
Right?
So he has
I feel empowered
created an app and he has asked the country that if you find out there's a drag show happening near your town, you report the drag show. My first question is, what's the end game? Why would you want
Who
someone?
are they trying to attract to this?
It's
Yes.
to shoot the power
Yes.
out
It
because
is.
that drag show. Side note,
It is to incite violence.
Yes.
My foster son lives there
in Colorado Springs?
No, North Carolina.
Oh, in
Right where they shut out the thing. I went to that drag show when I
Yeah.
was there this summer.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, there were no protesters there.
'Cause
so
why?
whatever's gone on has
Yeah.
been relatively recently.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I was there in June and there were no
Yeah.
Well,
protesters
usually that sort of thing is just the Westboro Baptist, but lately
Yeah.
it's been
No,
go
now
off
it's
the
a
chain.
ton of
Yeah.
family institutions, I guess. But the scary thing is they have an app now. And you can report it, which I believe, just like Dave said, it is a way to incite violence. Because why else would you need to? Because on a Friday night when you're praying with your family, why do you need to know where a drag show is?
And their drag shows are during the day. They're in North Carolina. They're
Yeah.
during the day.
Probably because it's safer
It
than it
is.
is. I mean, after what happened to Pulse down in Orlando, after what happened just recently in Colorado Springs at Club Q, this is the thing. People are dying. So why would you want to have any part of maybe making it easier for a crazy person to take a
to know
gun
where to show up.
Right.
innocent people? Except I know that these people don't think they're innocent.
Nope.
And they're espousing Christian beliefs again. Right?
Yes,
This is
yes,
all based
this
in
is all-
a Christian-based belief.
exactly.
Kind of. They're going to
Yeah.
have some explaining to do when they get to heaven. I'll tell you
Right?
what.
Yeah, and it's this whole drag alert system, I mean, and it's all over. My friends in Palm Springs, a very pro-gay town.
Yep.
It's there now. They have the app is out
That just brings
for
more people to the shows, though.
I know.
You know what?
In
It's
sort of
Palm
a resource,
Springs
really.
especially.
Do you know what else is good though? It's trackable. That app is, and so the government's going to have to go.
They're gonna have a
Just
short
hold
list.
on a short minute.
Yeah.
Right. What? Maybe we can find out who
Yeah.
shot those. The
Right.
lights out. Who shot the lights
And
out?
the
My
terror-
kid doesn't have any power.
And the terrifying, that's horrible. The terrifying thing for me is it takes the tragedy before they can go track.
Yes.
So that's so like I don't want someone else to die.
Oh,
you know what I
please.
mean? Until these are the things I'm like listen, we're all of generations who've been through a lot of shit.
Yep.
And we fought for so long. I know I look like I'm 20. But I was
do.
there. Thank
Did you see that?
Just like that
Barb?
guy looks like he's 40. Are you kidding me?
I
Right
know.
now?
And so I was when we had no rights at all. When I was fired from a job for being gay. My
Yep.
doctor said, I don't like you for being gay. My doctor was so arrogant that I said, I think my insurance needs to know because they won't like that I'm changing doctors. Could you call me and tell me why? And so I let it go to voicemail and he said it.
What a dumbass.
Really?
Yeah, that's how
Thank
we won.
you for your money.
That's how we exactly. But these are the things that I look around and violence is happening, even if it's not because of the queer community. There are shootings, multiple shootings every week in the
tired of
country.
guns.
Yeah,
Tired of
and now
guns.
we have queer people. it will keep happening to every group that one group decides
needs to go back in
isn't.
the closet.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
They're just
Or
trying to
away.
they're trying to take our voice away.
Yes, that's exactly what
so
they're doing.
if
And
we
the
make
worst
people
news-
fearful of having shows,
right.
then maybe they'll stop
Yep.
having shows. So
Yeah.
That will not happen. But anyways,
it's a direct,
Right.
I mean,
And-
it's subversive, right?
It's a-
Off in the
and it's a
Exactly.
threat, yeah,
And
it
let's
is.
just be honest. Have they met queer people before? I mean, you can tell us not to do something. We're just going to do it
The
more.
most stubborn
do it
community.
twice.
Yeah.
And
Right.
as I was just going to say, you know who the person
Yeah.
to die is going to be? It's going to be me because I'm going to show up. This made me want to go down to North Carolina and go to the next drag show and have on the number of clothes compared to the number of protesters there were. The more protesters, the less
Yep.
clothes.
Yeah.
That it could kill all of them, right?
Whoa.
Just like that.
Oh, it's awful.
It's
These
awful.
kinds of things
Yep.
infuriate me.
Yep.
To where, and the worst part is, I think
I
it's
just
more
wanna
infuriating
go
for people because we feel powerless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we've gotten to this point, can we reverse it? Can you turn the Titanic around?
Well, I don't know.
Especially when we're
This
allowing
town-
people to put apps out that says tell us where the drag show is so we can show up.
Like
Yeah.
Apple Store app?
And yet they
or-
don't. It's an app on their
Yes.
phone. Yeah, they
Yeah.
can do it. And so
see.
you show up, and then what are you doing? But they don't want to answer that question.
Maybe
we
I'll
just
get it
want.
and torture them.
we
We
want
just
people
want
to be
make sure
aware.
everybody's safe.
It's an awareness
Yeah.
app.
Why? Do you want to do drag? Come on.
Right.
Let's do that. This isn't. Let's be honest.
I
I
think-
don't need to know when your church service is every minute,
Right.
so you don't need to know when my drag show is.
I'll tell you though, like in this town, as white and straight as this town is,
Yeah.
I'm proud of us.
Yeah.
There has been so much growth in the last
There has.
15-ish years.
Yeah.
Especially the
at
last
our
15.
school.
Yeah.
Nobody has given us crap about our drag show ever. Ever.
Which is amazing,
the
especially because Rogers is known to be a little rougher
we are.
area. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not fooling.
I'm surprised that
The
there hasn't
Imperial-
been a problem.
No, because and part of that was because I worked there, so we're not having that. Like our
Yeah.
band director,
Yeah.
our band director told this kid this kid was in GSA. It was a girl. It was GSA and in band, and she asked, can she carry the banner, in the Lilac Parade? Okay, cool. He says, "Oh, go carry the banner for your gay club." Okay. She told me.
She
And
knew
he
where to
is
go.
one of my best friends.
Oh,
And I just went to his office and I was like, "What the fuck is the matter with you? Are
Yeah.
you kidding me? You say that to a kid? You know how much you hurt her feelings?" He's like, "I'm so stupid. I say stupid things." I said, "Okay."
You're like, yes, you
Will you
do.
fix
And you
this,
said,
please?
now call and leave me a voicemail so that I can.
Yes.
because
He's
at-
like,
Yeah, the details, please.
as a result of I could have made money. As a result of this, like our entire school has led the way in gay straight alliance stuff.
Yeah.
We had the first anybody bathroom. We had we have that, what's that thing, like it's Miss America but it's Mr. Rogers and it's all the guys. One of our trans
I don't know
kids,
this, but
one of our
that's
trans
fascinating.
it's really funny. It's all the boys and they do stupid
Yeah.
things. One of our trans kids
Like boys do.
entered it. Yeah. And he was in the process of transitioning, and the teacher who was doing it gave me a call and said, "Do I need to have him a different dressing room?" And I was like, "Yes, you do. Thanks for calling."
Great
And
There you go.
And in the office, and my school was responsible for getting downtown to add all the other sexual preferences under when you were registering to do a sport. Used to be male, female, other. Well,
Yeah.
they're not others.
Yeah,
Stop
exactly.
it.
There's
and
actual.
now there are 12.
wow.
Wow.
And most kids can find themselves in there.
that's
And now, and you can change your name to your chosen name now on your record.
Which is a
in
big
district
deal.
it's a huge deal.
Yeah, that's
and,
pretty big.
but then I got called. I always said to teachers, just call me. If you have a question about how to do this, just call.
Yeah.
And they would call me and go, well, how do I, if they call and ask for Roger, but I know that that's Sally, I said, how about you ask the kid what they
Yeah.
want you to do, because they'll tell you.
Yeah.
And the German teacher, how do I teach pronoun things?
Yeah.
Because it's only male and female. I said, ask the kid.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
They're the ones whose feelings you're going to hurt if you do it wrong. So just ask them.
Right.
And
right.
why?
They'll
And
let
we
you
do
know.
a whole lot of talking around people instead of just being, "Hey, why don't you tell me?"
You are in the room. I guess I could ask you.
Yeah, right. Oh, you're right,
Right?
here. Oh,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
And I only saw that in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But because of that, there's an entire school and another round of teachers who have come in who now know how to do this.
Yeah.
And that creates a safer place for
Do
all
you
those
still get calls
kids.
from people in the community? because I feel like you should.
Poor Facebook, it just keeps on sending me things.
We're just gonna start a little. We'll do it in the library, and then we'll just have Barb there. So, been like, go ask Barb; she will tell you.
Like when Drumpf got elected.
Yeah.
I had kids in GSA, and they said, "I'm not going to that class anymore.
Yeah.
That these kids are saying this, that they can do this."
Right.
And I said, "They can't." And I said, "Did your teacher hear?" I don't think so. And I said, "Well, then you got to find a way to tell them.
Yeah.
Like after school, some other time. Don't do it in front of those kids, but your teacher will protect you. I promise."
Yeah.
And then that gave them the did it to
Exactly.
go do that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't occur to them. It makes me so mad that kids, LGBTQ kids, they don't feel like they have the right to do that.
Yeah, and I think there's still a
makes
lot
me
of
so
fear.
mad.
I mean, culturally, we have been taught fear for a century or
Anything different.
centuries.
And we were sort of on a direction away from that for.
Yeah.
It felt
Yes.
like a
It
few
felt
years.
like
at
it,
least.
didn't it?
Stupid
Maybe
election.
we're making, and now it feels like we're.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like the
There
early
was
days
a
when I first came out, and
permission
it's like,
to hate that has
Yeah.
become the norm. And I don't understand because we all know if you we talk about all the time, I like to be a cheerleader. I want to cheerlead the people around me. I want to root them on. That makes me feel so much better than hating someone. Now, I'm not saying I love everybody. So let's not get, and I don't want to hug most people. But you know what I mean? There is this.
I'm not having dinner with you. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's just this is the craziness that we have offered this permission of this atmosphere of hate, because I truly believe the only way that we change everything is like the Freedom to Marry group was that they changed the narrative and it became about having to see gays and lesbians as people.
Yes.
And when people had to look at these people and go, it's hard to put a face of a monster on someone that you know.
Like Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah,
And then how smart is our president? Okay, he might be old. I do not want him to run again.
Right.
However, Jesus, he's good at his job.
Yes.
Because who did he put in charge of that? Kristen Sinema.
Yeah.
The worst Democrat that's ever been a Democrat.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
she has a gay child, and she
Quote,
wanted
unquote,
that to
Democrat.
be.
Yeah.
That wanted to be.
Yeah.
And he put her in charge of it, and it got done.
Yeah. And it is well.
She has
I
an
mean,
ounce of redemption now, but she still has a little bit.
an ounce is maybe a bit much, but
Better than nothing.
But speaking of which, what's
Plus, we don't
fascinating
need it
is look at Chuck Schumer. Same way, he has a lesbian daughter, married. They're going to have a baby. It changed the way he pushed this Respect for Marriage Act hard because he was thinking about her the whole time. And let's celebrate. Let's go to a lighter note and celebrate the fact that it's on Biden's desk.
Yep.
And we're going to.
Hey.
Now.
He's gonna, and he has already said it, even though he hasn't looked at it yet. I'm signing this because we need to codify into law that interracial marriage and same-sex marriage is okay.
How do we have to put that in law? I'm so
I know,
pissed about
because
But we
we have
realized
a
the flaw in that whole thing, though. I mean,
Yeah, right.
I mean, states could
In the
say
beginning.
we're not going to
And-
issue
but-
licenses anymore.
Oh, it doesn't
But-
matter. They
but-
have to recognize.
They have to recognize, but
They
they don't
have
have
to
to
recognize.
issue. So there's where
But-
the next fight is going to be.
Yeah, but let's be
Baby
honest
steps.
here.
Except for that's not a fight you have to
They
have.
knew how they had to get it done. To get it done, if we placate the Christian right and say, well, you don't have to, like, you can
Your
make a
state
state
doesn't
say
have
that
to.
we hate gay people and that you can't have gay marriage here. But you have to agree that if I got married in Washington and I go down to Kentucky, Kentucky has to recognize my
right?
marriage.
And if I die, my wife gets to
yeah,
have up and all
which
that. Yep.
honestly,
That's a big deal.
That's the big part.
is huge. Are we thrilled? No, but incrementalism wins the fight these
does.
days. So
Well, it's the stopgap measure until we can try
It
to
is.
reverse the tide of everything.
Well, and honestly, look at the world around us. The fact that it got through on such a margin, I mean, in the House alone,
In a lame duck, is pretty,
in the House alone, 258 voted for it, 169 voted against it. So we had to bring over a lot of Republicans, and they came over. Same thing in the Senate. It was 61 to 36. 12 Republicans joined with the pros to get this done. So
enough.
what's good is just think about 10 years ago. No, you could not have
no
had those
way.
numbers.
Nope.
Those numbers would not have.
Look at
No.
what Jonathan just said about the world around us. Herschel Walker got 49% of the vote in Georgia. Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Who wanted
are
to
you
cry
kidding me?
when you saw that? I'm like, he's an idiot.
Who lives-
Like, what?
Well, he wants to be a werewolf now
Yeah.
because
He's-
werewolves kill bomb power. So.
Yeah, right, exactly. I'm like,
he has
he's the stupidest human I've ever seen.
His cool novelty plastic, police badge that he got.
Yes, which I mean,
I
if that's all it
I
takes,
know.
I'm gonna.
I could
buy
spend the
one.
whole hour just dissing on him. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
If I have anything good to say about him, he conceded.
Yeah. Yes. He
He
didn't.
wanted it to be over.
He didn't.
I bet
pull,
he did.
yes.
I
His
bet he
wife
was
was like, I can't
petrified.
take
Yeah.
this
I
anymore.
can't do
But now
this.
the scary thing is for me is that the new common popular thing is, they didn't say if they're going to concede. They refuse to say if they're going to concede
Right.
if they lose
Yeah.
because they're not sure if it was legitimate or not. But at least he did.
But if you look at this particular midterm, way more people did it the way it's supposed to be done and conceded.
Right. Yeah.
Arizona dumbasses. That
Oh my
hello,
God.
but
Well, now
everybody else did.
She
Now
just wants
she-
her own talk show.
Well,
now.
and now she's gonna get the vice president nod from idiot. What's his name? Trump. She's gonna get that vice
So
president. nod.
DeSantis Lake, is
So
this
they
what we're
both.
looking at now?
Yeah. So
You
they
know that
both.
I have
That's what it
never
is. Yeah.
That I have never spoken that name.
Oh, the Drumpf.
Donald Trump.
Yes.
That's him.
Yeah, idiot that he is. But
don't-
also, let's talk about how interesting it is this week when he says he thinks we need to cancel the Constitution.
Oh, he took it
and
back.
yet,
but then he says,
well, he had to now.
but then no, what he said was, the media's making stuff up. I never said that.
Exactly. Fake news. But then what else is going on is like Mitch McConnell and all of his cronies are going on TV and the reporters are saying, can you tell us you would back him if
Right.
he really believed this? But they don't want to say
What the most
They
that
don't
they're
want to
saying
say
is-
no.
afraid of him.
They're afraid to say no because he could be their only shot.
The most
Oh,
that they're willing to
Jesus,
say
Mary Joseph.
is, and I've heard this from a couple different. I think we have better candidates.
Yes.
If it comes down to I have to vote for Trump, I'll vote for
Or
Trump.
like Mitchie Boy said, he's like, well, I think it would be hard for him to. Yeah, I think it'd be hard for him to get the nomination if he believed that. But no one will say, that sucks. I'm going to stand up and take a stance and say this is wrong. And when our leadership can't do that,
Yeah.
they shouldn't be in leadership.
Hey, guess what's going on Fox News? Why is our ex-president? Why is he there saying? Yeah, Kellyanne
Yeah.
Conway was like,
I know she was
okay,
on-
how come we have
heard
to
she
give our
lost her,
opinion
like,
and
her
she doesn't?
cool.
How come they?
did she? I didn't
How
watch
come
it.
they didn't? Right? And she's complaining because he's throwing them under the.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And the political climate right now is crazy, which is why it's more important than ever that we vote, that we use our voices, and that we be loud and proud and be the people that we need to be. There's no
Like
more
the-
time to sit down.
Like the family of the Capitol Police people who got their little awards
And wouldn't
How
shake
about
the
that
hands?
little video?
Yeah.
Shook the hand of Chuck Schumer, who was there. But then
Chuck, I think, was there. Yeah.
Mitch McConnell hand out. Oh, not you.
Yes.
No Kevin McCarthy.
And then he's going.
McCarthy?
He's
No,
going.
not
oh,
you. He doesn't even know what to do.
Yeah.
Four of them walk
Because
right.
there is a point in time
deer
where
caught
where
in my life.
being a good, polite, having decorum, fuck it, because you people are actively looking to hurt children in our country. So I love that they wouldn't shake his hand.
So much.
Yeah.
And Mandy Manning, you know her. So she was named Teacher of the Year, teacher here in Spokane.
Seattle
Yeah.
Park, right?
She had she had to go back to DC and had to
Yeah.
stand next to what's his dick. And oh, sorry, God.
No, you're good.
And,
I have never used that phrase, but from now on, I'm using that phrase.
That's
What's
what
his
we'll
dick?
call him.
Because no one cares about that. That's for sure. Just
I
ask
love this.
Stormy. Anyways, and she wore 100 gay pins.
Yes. Yes.
If you go look up the footage of the pictures,
Yeah.
she wore gay marriage, gay this. I love gay people. blah, blah, blah.
Hallelujah.
It was so. I was like, that's man.
I mean, to combat the don't
So
say
good.
gay, we just should say
Yeah.
gay all the time.
I would. Yeah.
And we use queer on this show because it's so all encompassing, and we
Mm-hmm.
want everybody to feel like they have a voice. And so yeah, I say queer all the time. We get people in the gay community who don't like that we use queer, and in the end, I want everybody in this fucking world should feel comfortable to live in their skin. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The people that grumpy are usually over the age of 50. The people.
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say you were over the age of 50.
I only
Thank
look
you for
40,
not saying that
thank
about
you.
me.
Yeah, right. She will smack a person. She will smack a bitch.
Will,
I'm just
too.
saying.
Here's one of my favorite
yeah.
things. I travel a lot because
Yeah.
I referee college volleyball and tennis.
Yeah.
Favorite thing. I get to someplace, Anchorage, Alaska. I'm in my hotel. I look across the street. Big fat window of gay, queer, bi, sticker,
Really?
sticker, big, giant.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Gay
Yeah.
center. So I go over there and buy about $100 worth of stuff to take back to my children, and they are so excited because they have things from Alaska that
That's
are
cool.
rainbow
Right?
things from Alaska.
Yeah. My nickname in high school was Big Giant Gay.
Oh, I
That was
like
my
it.
thing, yeah.
I like it. I like it. Oh, I forgot one other thing we
Yeah.
got to
Very
do.
clever.
You can earn a letter at Rogers for being in the GSA.
That's I've never heard
Because-
that.
Yeah,
For your
because
for the coat.
for your coat, because a lot of the kids in GSA they're not on the football team.
That's really cool.
And,
Yeah, it is.
And so I just went to our principal and I said, "We do about 1 billion hours of community service. Can I make a paper that says
Is it a rainbow R?
it is? It says GSA down the side. And
Nice.
those letters are I'll show you.
That's brilliant.
Anyways, so it was very cool because then I get them because the first year that you get it, you get a usually for the sport you get like a football or a volleyball.
And then you get the little
I
tag
got
on
a
it, right?
little flag, a little gay flag.
Yeah.
A little.
I love that you
pride
think
flag.
I would know anything about sports.
Here, send in a photo, and I'm gonna put it in post right here.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay,
Yeah.
here.
Send it to
We'll
Tom.
make sure the viewers can see it right here.
Yay!
Or if you're listening, tough beans.
Yeah.
Tough beans.
Go look at our socials somewhere. You'll
yeah,
find it.
do it. All my
Yeah.
friends have asked me where they can see this, so I don't.
They should.
sure they
Because
can.
remember, you can listen to it if you're in your car making a long commute, or you can watch it.
You can.
If
You
you
should
want to
watch
see
it,
our beautiful
'cause
faces.
we're cool.
Hiding behind a
Where do I
microphone.
send this?
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll figure it out later. After
That's
the
why
show.
we have an
Yeah.
hour show.
We'll
because,
get it from you later.
Eventually,
You
we'll
go
be
back
able
and
to-
forth. Things
yeah,
later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I wanted to end on that because it's a moment of hope and victory. Is that we have this Respect for Marriage Act that I will say at the beginning of this whole process of going through the Senate, going through the House, all this stuff, I had my doubts because this kind of stuff doesn't happen. So to see that Democrats had their shit together and were able to push it through
Right, which
was a
they
beautiful
haven't
thing.
done.
And we have the
No,
Mormon Church
exactly.
to thank for that, right?
They were a
That-
big
they are
support.
they're the ones who brought those Republicans over.
Yeah.
Did.
Yep.
So I don't know if I'd ever thought, thank you, Mormon Church.
Romney,
I feel like I
Romney's
can
like
say
the
that with
LDS church is
some-
for it. Well,
Yeah.
here I go.
Exactly.
on this one thing. Thank you.
Exactly.
Do you know why I have the right to be hopeful?
Why?
Because I'm a white woman. I'm a white straight woman.
Yeah.
Things go well for us.
Oh, see, that's amazing.
And
Now,
it's
I would say
true.
75% of things probably go well for me, but the 25%
But you
of the
have to work
gayness doesn't know.
so hard for what goes right for you
Yeah,
compared to me. That's why my car's like plastered with stickers like Black
That's
Lives Matter
amazing. Yeah.
and if you don't like gay people, back up because I'll
Yeah.
hit you. All the stickers. And
Do you actually have that one?
Yeah, that would be brilliant. Yeah.
and what I really love is that it invites conversation even if it's
Yeah.
vitriolic.
Yeah.
So this woman says, "Why do you think this?" And it was about the Black Lives Matter sticker. And
Yeah.
and I said something and she said, "Well, yeah, but if they just follow the law." I think the first thing I said was, if I'm driving down the road and a black kid's driving down the road, I'm not the one that gets pulled over. And she says,
Exactly.
"Yeah, but if they would just follow the law." And then I said, "Here comes my Christian upbringing. Jesus followed the law. And look what they did to him." So
Ooh.
I guess that confuses me. And she was
Oh.
like,
It's hard when you
"Well,
speak
that
their
makes,
language.
That makes a
Well,
lot
it
of
is.
sense."
Yeah.
And that's always the easy cop out. If they
Yeah.
had
That was
just done
cool.
what they were supposed to do.
It's
Well,
that's your privilege is
Jesus
showing.
did.
You know, when you say that, then
Sorry.
you are showing you have no
good.
idea what this is about.
So she was very polite and said, that makes a lot of sense. And thank
Yeah.
you for talking
Well,
to
you
me,"
mentioned
as opposed to
conversation.
punching her in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, which can be a plan B if
Instead
it
of
needs to
thanks
be.
for helping me pick up all my teeth, I appreciate it. She said.
My other favorite thing to do is somebody is in the drive-thru and they're beeping at you and like,
Oh,
hurry
I
up and
hate
da-da-da-da. And I get up to the window and go, "Hey, I want to buy their food." And he's like, "What?"
Wow.
And I said, "They're going to be so confused."
You're yelling over the horn.
Great.
Meanwhile.
Yeah, they're flipping me off out the window.
Right.
And I'm
I'm like, I need to back up.
Yeah, exactly.
So I go,
And gas.
So I go, and then I just peek through my window like, "You're going to be so confused all the way home, lady."
And hopefully feeling a little
you the
shitty
pride
too.
meal.
It's what,
You know what I mean?
It's what you do.
Yeah. I have to say that, like you had mentioned, I love that this is on camera because you have the greatest looks over here.
Stop it.
I have to say, you mentioned conversation. That's the whole point of why we did this show, is because one of the things that's missing in this world right now is that we no longer talk to each other. And I don't care if you're in the same group or not the same group. We
Yes.
don't talk to each other.
No.
You know what I mean? I want to answer my freaking phone. I answer my phone for my mom and nobody else. Not even my siblings. I'm like, why are you calling me? What is happening? Text me if you need something.
Yes.
Yeah. So a conversation is where it's at. Having those conversations. It's why I haven't screamed at my coworker lately, because he's asking questions, but there are days. I'm just saying. So I want to say I wanted to stop on that note because it's a beautiful moment of hope. It's a beautiful moment of success for queer people and their allies. That there might be hope. You know what I mean? Because it looks very dark.
Hope.
See,
I
love
alive,
that.
The day I die, that shit's gonna hit the fan.
So we have another 100 years because you aren't going nowhere.
100.
Yes, exactly. So I want to thank you both for taking time to be on the. This was a very lively show.
It was. Well, thanks for having me.
Teachers do it, huh?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
do it.
What's that song? Teachers getting it done or something? I don't remember.
Where did you see that song?
It's a 70s song, but it's
only
not.
know
Teachers.
It wasn't like
Teacher,
Pornhub.
that's what? You're 12.
Oh wait, yeah.
I don't have a video
Exactly.
on there.
He doesn't know what porn is. What? No. Well, speaking of which, everybody should tune in for the February 14th show because we have a sex therapist coming on, and he's very excited to talk about sex. So,
I'll come on
just
with
so
him.
you know,
All right, that's a good show.
Oh, I've known him for Kurt and I have known him for many years. It's gonna be fun. So
Is that a live audience?
it should be.
I mean, maybe
It
I'll cover
should
that one.
be.
That one sounds-
It is.
That one sounds racy.
Let me just tell you what he told me today. He's like, Jonathan, if I had to give people one piece of advice about dating that I've learned through being a sex and marriage therapist, fuck first. I was like, what did you say?
Does he work here?
He's
It's
like,
okay.
pro. No, he's been here before. He's out of New York. So he goes, just a pro tip. I'm like, Damon, I've missed you so much. I've missed you. I've missed. So thank you
tip.
everybody for tuning in to what's always a fun conversation when you are on the QueerCentric. Remember that the audio drops on Tuesdays at thequeercentric.com and the video comes on Fridays, and there's a lot of fun in between. I'm just saying.
Yay.
We have a lot of fun going on there. There's something's happening over here. Tom is doing math
Did you say video comes out on when?
on Fridays.
Tuesday. Video Friday.
comes out on Friday?
Tuesday.
The official
audio.
drop date is Tuesday audio, Friday is video.
Oh, I got those mixed up.
Oh, listen, people, just show up
'Cause
to
you're
the site.
12.
Just show up to the site.
Why?
I'm still learning my days of the week. It's really tough for me.
See?
Yeah.
So remember, www.thequeercentric.com. Please watch all our socials and get ready. Mark
It's
your
all in the
calendars.
bio. If you're on YouTube, it's all in the bio.
Mark your calendars for February 25th. It's a Saturday at 7 p.m. at the Central Library in Spokane. And please, don't bother to put it on that app and report us.
I'm going on that app.
Because
and
Barb is our security
I'm gonna
that day.
join it and see what kind of ruckus
Some
I can
espionage,
cause.
eh?
Right, I
That
like
was
it.
expect the
really
drag queens.
fun.
Yeah, expect a lot of drag queens. Yeah, exactly. So everybody, we love you tons, and until next time, bye.
Bye-bye.
QueerCentric.
QueerCentric.